Hello, I'm back. I haven't done a video in a while. This has been a pretty tough year. I haven't felt very well, so I'm starting to feel a little better, so I thought I would kind of ease back into it with something kind of simple. So what I'm going to do is share with you my Bible study journal. I use the Traveler Notebook system, and so I'm going to be showing you my personal Traveler's Notebook planner / journal also. So the first thing I want to do is give you an example if you don't know what a Traveler's Notebook is. And I'll show you my first one, which I got from Michael's, I think. It's like some little, let me get this camera figured out. It's like some little Naugahyde thing. See all the ink there? It comes off. And what it basically is a piece of leather or material, and it has holes punched at the top and the bottom and elastic cord run through there. So on this one there are 4, so I can put 4 notebooks in here. And what you do is you just buy these little paper notebooks that are just the right size. Bear with me on this. And then you open it up right at the middle, and then you slide it under one of the elastic cords. And you can put 4 notebooks in there. And the best part about this is that you can swap them out. So let's say I'm going somewhere for the weekend, and I'm going to take my Bible with me, and I'm going to take a book that I'm reading I always like to take notes when I'm reading a book or doing a Bible study. And so I can just take whatever I'm using, take it with me. And let me show, like, here's one for the book Fervent. These are my notes on Fervent. Here's one on Galatians. Here's one titled Ray Vander Laan. Those are YouTube videos I like to watch about a guy who is an expert on the Jewish culture, and he does a lot of videos in Israel. Here is my notebook on healing. So you can just swap those out and take them with you however you'd like. So that was my first one, but I wanted a really nice leather one. So my daughter got me one for Mother's Day, and this is it. Now this is my Bible study one, not my personal one. And then it has a little elastic cord that is attached in the middle of the spine. You can see that right there. And then you just flip it over, and it holds your books in place. And then I got this little fancy thing at, whoa, here we go. At Michael's. It says, "Be still and know that I am God." Psalms 46:10. So let me show you the inside. And here we go. And what I did is I took the notebooks and I made a little cover to go over it, just to kind of give a decorative theme in the book. And so I went to Hobby Lobby and I just bought scrapbook paper and cut it out to match my notebook. And you just slide it right over. And then when you slide the whole thing under the elastic, it just holds it all in place. Another thing that you can do is you can get the pages, notebooks with pages that are blank or lined or graph paper or dots. And I prefer the dots, actually. They're faint, and so you can still write and have a structured lines, but they're not so dark that they distract from the writing. So in my scripture notebook, I have 4, let's see, I think I have 4 in here at the time. And then I just take these little file tabs, the removable ones, and put on there. So my first one is titled Scripture. My second one is titled Teaching, and that's where I keep a list of the YouTube or the video and the Bible study topics that I want to do. And then the third one is Bible, and that's where I call it Bible dump. That's just where as I'm studying things, miscellaneous things, I just want to write them down so I don't forget them. I use that. And then my last one is titled Prayer. And then, let's see, I just do a little doodling, just do a little cover page. So on my scripture one, I started out doing something that I found on Pinterest, and it's called monthly scripture writing. And you can find these lists on Pinterest, and it tells you for 31 days, it gives you a scripture passage that you can read, and you write them out. And I remember even in high school and in college, I remember things much easier. Let me close that. I remember things much easier if I write them down. I used to make my own flashcards, and I'd write out a summary and outline what I was studying and what I needed to know. So I like writing out scripture because it helps me remember it. It helps me think about it as I write it. And so I started out doing that, and that didn't work very well. So then I started just, when I come across a passage that I like or I want to remember, then I'll write it. And so I use some little washi tape to just make a distinction between the different entries. So that's my scripture notebook, scripture writing. And then on the teaching one, let's see, at first it started out, I doodled a project page. But here, these are topics that I would like to cover. And most of these, I get them when I wake up in the morning. As I wake up, and I start thanking the Lord that I have another day, and asking Him to be with me, and just start talking to Him and thinking about Him. I can't tell you how many times I've just had this little thought, this little nugget dropped in my head. And sometimes I'll think, oh, that is so good. Why haven't I thought of this before? Or why haven't I seen this before when I read the scripture? And I think I have to share this because I'm a sharer. I'm an obsessive sharer, but that's just me. So there's my Bible dump page, and that's where I just go in and things that I'm talking about. If I'm studying something like, here's many pages on the lost sheep of Israel. And then the last section is my prayer section, and I just date it. I've got some yellow stickies over there because I don't want you to see all my private prayers. But I have extra room in this one, and so what I do, I don't always carry this one with me unless I'm going to be gone, like I said, for a weekend or something. But if I just run to the store, I don't take it. If I'm going somewhere with Megan and the girls, and I think I may have time sitting in the car, killing some time, sometimes I'll grab this and take it with me. Sometimes I'll take my Bible too. I usually carry like a little tote bag. It's kind of like here, hang on, I'll go get it. I'll be right back. Okay. This is like a little, I got this for $5 at Michael's. And it's got pockets, pretty good size on the inside. It's like a craft project bag. There's a crochet project. I throw my iPad in there, my Bible, my 2 planners, and take it with me. I also use it, I just leave it around the house, like by the recliner. If there's something I'm studying, or, I just keep it. A lot of people use this, they call it their Bible study bag, and they just place it somewhere where everything's in there. Pencils, markers, highlighters, stickies, things like that. It comes in real handy. Just a minute, and let me say, I can't talk right now. All right. So then next is my personal planner. And I got this. I bought this for myself. I got this from SpeckledFawns.com online, and it's a much softer leather. I like them both tremendously. This one has stitching around it, and it also has pockets on the inside. It's got a flap, and so I put some paper in there, my contact cards, and then in the back, I use it as my wallet too. So there's even a little spot there for money, nothing in it. So, and in here I have like a monthly, weekly planner. Now, sometimes you can buy these where they're already filled out. So here is one that's going to be starting in January. It's already got the months in there, and then it breaks down by week. Sometimes I just make my own. There's a 6-month, and so I just take the time, I sit down and draw all that out. And then here's my weekly one. Then I have a section called my brain dump. That's not very decorative. And that's where I just put things that is on my mind. Oop, I'm going to do it real fast so you can't read it. Woo. Then I have a section called To Do. And again, I use those little tabby things. And then I just have to-do list. And I put a little box there. And as I do them, I check it off. Then I have a section called List. And what you can do is the very first page, you just make an index. And then as you do your pages, you just label them, and as you add something else to it, you go back and add it to the index. So this is a list of books that I'd like to read. There's a lot of them that should be on there. This is a book of websites that I like to use and don't want to forget. Here is when I was researching a handgun, I want a new handgun. This is a list of where I worked down different features they had and which one would be best for me. I know what that is. I need to update that. Just things like that. All kinds of stuff. So those are very handy. And the best part is that you can swap out the books and put whatever is appropriate for what you're doing in your life at that time or that day. And so that's what I use to keep me somewhat organized. It doesn't always work. So, Bible planner. And then, of course, I have all of these. And so I just swap them out as I need them and use them. And that is a summary of 2 basic things that I use for Bible study and planning and stuff. And that's it. Hope you enjoyed it. Thank you.